What's up, dude? How's it going, Brad?
Good, man. Good. Yeah. It's been
How was your last week?
it's been like a it's been good. Like I was just thinking back, I'm like, man, how many times did I even shoot this week? I don't know, I've just been all over the place.
Yeah.
I think Lily's really back into school and stuff, so it's like pull every direction this week, but all in all, I had some good outing.
Yeah,
Yourself?
well, I feel like it's one of those weeks lately. Like we barely chat. Usually we're like pretty active in our chat, like
I know.
sharing about stuff, and it's just been like radio silence there, which is odd,
definitely.
but it's just,
It is, yeah.
dude, it's so busy. It's just so busy. Yeah. I did thankfully get out and do some shorebirds, and had an amazing time. So I can't wait to share about that. But it's just there's just so much stuff going on behind the scenes for Ray Hennessy Wildlife Photography. It's
right.
I mean,
some
it's
good
all
stuff though.
It is all good stuff. It's
Yeah.
all some of the things I'm not sure if I can chat about yet. So
Okay.
I got to, I don't want to say anything preemptively. Is that the right word? Preemptively? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. I almost said presumptuously, but that's not right.
No, that's definitely not right.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for joining. We are going to talk about photo contests today. So that's going to be like our main thing. But I also wanted to, as you probably noticed from the way we started, Brad and I have been talking, and we both kind of felt that the show as we've been doing it so far is over. No, I'm kidding. Like, we're just ending it.
Right, we just started like 10 episodes I think we've done.
No,
Yeah.
we just felt like it was going in a direction we didn't want, as far as it just being so overly structured, and that's not us. Number one. And number
Right?
two, it just, I don't know, I guess it was starting to feel a little bit more worky as far as like prep and all that stuff. So we're gonna take it back to our roots, everybody. No, we're just going to try and keep it a little bit more casual. There's still going to be some basic, some of those kind of segments we had in the previous shows are still going to be here. There may be topics sometimes, which was always the case, right? Sometimes we'll definitely have a topic like today. Other times it might just be us catching up because we had a really good week, and we're still going to like dive into stuff and talk about the photos and the process and everything. So there's going to be a ton to learn along the way, even if we don't have a topic, So I do want to make that clear. And then we're definitely we'll still end each show with choosing a photo from the Wildlife Photo Chat Challenge. So that'll be cool. Cause I know we both enjoy like seeing the community, like the interaction there. You know what I mean? And seeing some great photos shared. So that's super cool. We'll keep doing that. But kind of the rest of it is just going to be more chill and relaxed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's finally a normal temperature here.
Oh, really?
2 days ago, it finally
dropped.
happened. It was so freaking hot for so long. I mean, the entire month of September was like just too uncomfortably hot for here. I've never seen that, man. It's been a while. Like, it's been a couple years since I've been based in New Jersey. Yeah, and then being here for 3 weeks, because this is the third episode we've recorded here, which this is my last one. Next time, you guys will see a different background.
Okay, good.
But it was just uncomfortably hot. Every time I was recording, I was in here sweating and just gross. And now it's finally like 2 days ago, the switch hit, and it's normal fall. It's just like, finally, gosh, man, like it makes it miserable when it's that uncomfortably hot.
Yeah, and it's funny you mention it, because it literally about 2 days ago it like switched here, and it's like,
it's probably all the same.
Like enjoyable weather. Yeah, but it's gotten like cold now. It's like even went out with a jacket, like my thinner kind of like spring jacket. I'm like, oh man, what happened? Like, it's definitely switching. So.
That's funny.
But it's good, man, because like even now, like all the fall colors are starting to show, like, and it seems like it's a little bit earlier this year. So I'm like, let's go. Like,
nice.
This can be an exciting time.
Nice, man.
For photography.
That's really cool. I mean, I love the set of images you got there. But before we dig into those, you want to do what would you choose?
Yeah, I had it up there just a second now.
Yeah, do you remember it? I was gonna say, I got it.
I
like this one.
I got it. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Yeah. And actually, I think this is one we were going to have last show, and we forgot to add it in.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of slipped our minds about doing one. But, so if you had to choose to have either, like, the eye tracking or have it so that you see like your exposure, the exposure simulation, so that you can see kind of like exactly what your image is going to look like, the changes that you're making. So it's newer tech. I know not everyone has that newer stuff.
DSLR folks are out on both of those.
They're like, what are you talking about?
I know. That sucks.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for the people that have upgraded in the mirrorless world, and you know, the more higher end mirrorless world where they've got those features, what would you choose?
I'm going, give me eye tracking.
That's a tough one.
Give me eye tracking. Yeah, because you know what? I always felt like I was good enough at exposure to begin with, you know? And I was good with focus with DSLR. I didn't feel like I was struggling for focus there, but the freedom of composition is just so damn nice, right? And I feel like I can always get my exposure close enough anyway. And it's not like I'm nailing it every time now, even though I am seeing it. Sometimes I'm like a little dark, a little light. So I certainly love having both, but if I had to choose, I'm going eye tracking just to give me that freedom of composition, because and here's the main reason why, dude. If like you could get a good exposure with DSLRs, you know, like you and I did it for years. Everybody did it for years, and we managed. It wasn't like I was always going, oh, I wonder what I'm going to get. Like I knew just using a meter, and the metering is amazing on the DSLR. So, but there was no way, it was impossible to just freely compose the way you can with that. So that's why I would go that direction. How about you?
Yeah, it's the exact same thing, man. Like it's changed my abilities now with composition like so greatly that it's not even a second thought for me. I mean,
really?
Like you said, it's great to see the exposure, like to kind of erase that little like second guess you were doing. Oh, my, little too dark, a little bit more. Should I go a little? Now you can pretty well fine tune. I agree. There's times I'm still like, I still mess that up, but I'm like, you know, a situation will happen super fast or something like that, and I just never had a chance to adjust or whatever. But just the freedom of composition and eye tracking, and then not only that, just like even for in-flight stuff, dude, like to actually be able to like kind of almost like compose as you're doing in-flight stuff is that's like
huge,
next level. So
totally. I think you get more out of that. I think if it was like a beginner photographer, maybe they might choose the exposure thing, because I feel like that's kind of harder in the beginning to figure that out and understand and go with it, other than just put the dot on your bird. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of, I think, a bigger deal when you're newer into this. But once you figure it out and are good at understanding the meter and all that, then I think most people are good. But yeah, everybody listening and watching, like, let us know. What would you choose on that? That is a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. Yeah, for sure. I enjoy these, man. Like even the thought process of like coming up with them throughout the week and stuff. It's fun to kind of think about like what I want or not want, or what kind of situation. So I've been enjoying.
We got a couple of decent like both ways on the last one, which was like, you know, would you go same subject in any light or any subject in overcast light? And some people
we had good valid points.
We had some people going both directions on that one, which was cool.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Dude, I gotta start this out with your photos here. Do you have a favorite? Because I did. There's one. I mean, it's an awesome set again, but there's one that's just like, damn, to me.
To me, it's top right.
Yeah, that's it. That's so funny. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's really cool. I went there too.
Yeah, there's just about the layering and the light, and what's really good is I'll explain kind of how I got that. So that's why I included that wider scene of the actual full lake itself.
Oh, okay.
And you can kind of see. So I love this particular location, dude. This is a spot for me that's
so many ducks.
Well, and the thing is, so what's so fantastic about it? So like, look, be total transparent. I'm sure ducks are being fed there. I've never seen them being fed there. They do act somewhat skittish, especially when you're first going into location. So I'm always there like a half an hour-ish beforehand. And if you walk out like at a pace, or if you're not kind of like somewhat stealthy, they flush. Like they're like gone, middle of the lake. You know, I lie down, so on the right-hand side, you can kind of see that little bit of a shoreline there. depending on how much rain we've had, and like right now it's super dry. Usually that water level's up to that little bit of grass that you see, that little point of grass.
Okay.
So it's usually full of water.
Is this always exposed or not? Sometimes it's just the tufts
and again,
of grass.
no, sometimes that's just like a little bit maybe exposed or just the tufts of grass.
But it's still shallow enough for birds to stand in there, like yellowlegs and stuff.
Oh, definitely, dude. I could walk almost out, like it seems like to the middle of this lake. It's actually very, very shallow.
Nice.
But it gets pretty mucky. Like you can get kind of stuck. I've walked out.
I was just going to say, of course you tried. I'm like, wait, most people wouldn't know that. And you're like, yeah, I've wandered out there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, every time I go, I wear chest waders because I'm like, I don't know if for perspective wise or depending on what species are there, whatever, like sometimes I'll want to get in the water just a little bit.
We need to start a GoFundMe for Brad to get a dry suit. That's what we need. That's what, you know what? And we've been talking about, actually, I'm going to try and do it soon as I get a breather.
No.
We're going to put you can give us a donation just to support the show kind of thing. So we are going to plan on doing that at some point, and I'm going to title it, Let's Get Brad a Dry Suit, like
a dry suit.
Yeah.
That's too funny. Yeah. Oh, you're hilarious. But yeah, to go back, like, so the beauty of this location, so again, there's a bunch of ducks that spend all year round. But I don't know what the rationale is, but I guess because there's so many kind of different ducks and stuff, other species get super comfortable.
Sure. Yeah,
so for instance, like there's green-winged teal that show up, there's northern shovelers, which are a bird that don't,
normally
that aren't common here, but have now started to breed. So they'll like, as I'm lit there, so I'll usually lie there, say for like 2 hours, and I'm not moving much, just slight movement. These
2
ducks
hours,
long
outing for Brad. Long outing for Brad.
Right? Real long.
It's because you start in the dark. That's why.
That's only if, exactly, and it's only if it's a bit overcast. But a lot of these ducks will kind of come in and they're just comfortable because I guess they're like, well, look, there's 20 of my friends over there.
There's my pal Brad. I see him every year when I come back. Yeah, I get it.
Well, and the thing is, like, if I go to stand up from being in that lid down position, the ones that aren't so, like, relaxed and tame, like a northern shoveler or sometimes these green-winged teal, as soon as you make a sudden movement, they're like, nope, I'm gone. And that's it. They go right back out to the middle of the lake. But the other advantage is because you get these open, like, sand, like these little, I don't know what you'd call them, not sandbars, like the little open areas of land out in the middle. There's a lot of shorebirds end up coming in here because all that shallow pool is full of sticklebacks, like the little small fish.
Oh, okay.
So the greater yellowlegs, lesser yellowlegs, they're loving it. They're just going after the fish, and then it draws other shorebirds around. So there's a kingfisher that hangs out in that area. I don't know if you can zoom it, like you probably can't see it on that, but on the left-hand side, there's like this stick that's in the ground. Yeah, like right around there.
Oh, right there.
There's actually a kingfisher. Usually kind of wants to perch there.
Dude, you should set up a perch for a kingfisher there. Like, oh my gosh. If it had an open perch out here to land on and hunt, it would probably be all over it.
Well, he's always on that perch.
Yeah. I'm saying you can just put one wherever you want and he would use it.
Right, wherever you want. Definitely. Yeah. So there's usually a family every year. There's one time I had the kingfisher actually land on that grassy spot to the right and land right in front of me. But anyways, I guess my whole point is it's a great variety and mix of birds. So it's usually around this time of year. It kind of draws me to this location because you get the sun to the right on this image, comes up over just that little bit of a kind of that ridge and just spreads the gold light all around in there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how open it is there.
Exactly. And it's the only other location that I've really worked where it's like lesser yellowlegs, greater yellowlegs. I could photograph them with a 24 millimeter lens. Like they don't care. They're super tame. They're all running around. Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of reason to go real wide there, right? It's just kind of flat and featureless.
It kind of is. To my right a little bit more, there's like that. It's like a bit of a more of a tree line. Like there's a way to kind of play a little bit with something a bit more on the right for a little bit of interest.
Gotcha.
I've done it. I think if I get the right conditions and everything to line up.
Well, that's it, right? You get a badass sky, then it would make sense to go wider or just playing with reflections or something like that. Yeah, but if it's just kind of a blue sky, then blah on the wide.
Definitely.
And then you got the dummy.
So on this particular morning, right? Well, and the thing was, I had seen at one point that there had been one showing up, but with this location, like a lot of times they'll show up for like a day, maybe 2 days, and then they move on. Like they're gone somewhere else or whatever the case may be. So he really wasn't even on my radar when I showed up. And then, so those 2 tufts of grass that you were seeing, when I showed up, I didn't see him. I lay down my usual spot,
there.
and all of a sudden, I just see him kind of like hop out from behind that first kind of tuft, and I was like, nice. Oh my God. I'm like, okay, he's still here. I'm like, that's awesome. So I belly crawled out into the water.
Did you?
Just kind of creeped in a little bit closer, got super low, grabbed this first shot. Obviously, you can see it was like a little bit earlier. It wasn't much. Like, I mean, it was light, but
colors are nice.
It wasn't crazy good yet. Yeah, it was just nice colors. So I'm like, I'm grabbing his shot right away before, just in case he gets flushed or leaves or whatever the case.
Somebody rolls in with a dog.
Which I didn't realize. Right? Yeah, exactly. But I didn't realize at the time until I got home. I was like, oh, this is a lifer. Because like the way I organize my file, I've talked about this before. I'm so like prehistoric dinosaur
Nobody follow
days.
this, by the way. This is not a recommendation.
No, this is definitely not a recommendation.
I'm kidding.
But I always, when I'm saving out my work, I always have like a folder for that species. So that's where I save the main like PSD file and whatever JPEG I save out. So when I went to save out this first image, I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, this is a lifer. I don't have like a Dunlin folder.
I was gonna say,
so
like, you've never seen them in breeding, huh?
No, definitely not. No,
they're arguably the most stunning
shorebird,
shorebird, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They're one of my top.
Yeah, they got this like, they got like a rusty reddish kind of color in them, don't they?
And they get a full black chest or like sides, like deep black on the sides and in the front. Yeah. And then just completely transformative.
That's super cool.
It's so detailed.
Really cool.
Man.
Yeah.
Love the shot, man.
I'm gonna get you to. Thanks, man. I'm gonna get you to skip that image. I'll come back to the ducks at the end. So as the light, because this guy kind of drew me to that spot or that attention, I was like, I really like the way this lines up using that front kind of like tuft of grass, the one in the back. So I kind of like posted myself up there because everything was kind of getting on the go. Like the sun was starting to come up, so a lot of the birds were hunting, whatever. So I saw this greater yellowlegs kind of coming across that little rocky shore thing out in the middle, little rocky island, and luckily it was just perfect timing. He paused right in a perfect spot. Light was hitting that back tuft of grass, giving that nice, beautiful orange look, and then that foreground grass just to kind of give that little bit of separation, foreground blur, but just like for him to look into the light too was perfect.
The angle is just right on. Yeah.
And it's funny because I was saying to you, like, I think last week or whatever, you asked me about like what my plans were, and I said like I haven't had like an outing where I felt like I came away with a greater yellowlegs, like a real nice shot. So I was like, I'm stoked now. At least I've got that one out of the way.
Well, and I just want to go back to this really quick. Sorry, dude, but I just want to say, like,
no, Scott,
all the photos here, we both just, no question, just went to that one, right? And there's stunning photos here. You know, there's a bunch of great stuff. Like, I'll go through real quick just so people can get an eye. I mean, that's beautiful, lovely bokeh, similar lighting there. You know, great. Like this and this are the same exact color tone and relative lighting as the yellow legs that you're looking at now, right? But like, what is it here, right? And so like, I kind of wanted to just talk about it in regards to like the topic today of like these contests, and it's like, man, like if we were judges, like boom, we're both going right for that image, you know? And so why?
Yeah, and I think to me, it's like it goes to to me, quality of light.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got this perfect, beautiful light on the subject. It's well exposed. You're seeing everything in the bird detailed really, really nice. Then there's just this beautiful layering. You've got some interesting foreground blur plus your background blur, which then has got some beautiful colors which draw you in. Like there's nothing that kind of intersects, distracts. It's just a very clean portrait. So yeah, I think for me at least, that's what really, really stands out.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
that low perspective, obviously, as well.
Yeah, sure. But I was just gonna say, I think it shows, and this is like if I were a judge, which I've only ever judged like really small things, right? So I've never done like a big contest. I know you've done some decent sized medium ones that you've judged for.
Yeah.
To me, like the first ingredients of all this stuff are like, to get like great photos like this, it's like show a mastery of the basics, right? Light, focus, and composition. Like they're like the basics there, right? And so you've got all three, right? The low perspective, which is key for a shorebird like this. The light, amazing. It's spot on focus. Like the technicals are there. And then you have just a beautiful portrait, right? The bird is looking in my opinion, the correct direction because he's looking into the light, and then it's like, but there needs to be something else. Like that's just the baseline, right? Like if I were judging a contest, if a photo had all of those things going for it, that's not enough. I wouldn't award it anything based on just that. Like it needs something else. It totally does need something else. And to me, it's that foreground bush, right? It's that foreground bush adds a balance, right? So it's not just negative space on the right. I'm a huge fan of negative space. I love it, but that grass adds balance to it. It adds a little bit of an interesting texture contrast, and it adds depth. It gives layering to it. And so that's the bonus there, right? It's just like all the rest of your photos have all the other same ingredients, but they're missing out on that foreground. And it's so hard to get that foreground just the right amount of out of focus, right? If the bird was closer to it, it's going to start to be too in focus and kind of be distracting. In a way. If he's too far away, it's going to be so blurred, it's just going to blend in with the background blur, right? You can't tell. So he's in that sweet spot. And dude, I mean, unless that bird was locked in there and let you just wander all around, you don't control that, right? The bird controls that as it moves around. And like that's, you're lucky there. But lucky you went into the right spot and then skilled to be able to get the shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. And I guess the thing is too, like knowing that location, knowing how the light was going to play out, knowing the patterns of the subjects. Like I've seen them kind of like run through this particular area. So I was like, what, I'm just going to lock. I'm just going to lock in here and just wait and hope that everything lines up. The subject does what I want it to do, kind of thing. But just to go back to what you're saying, like it's funny because when a long time ago, as I started thinking about getting into contests, Janelle and I, my wife, like, we kind of like broke down things. We were looking at contests and we were kind of like trying to figure out like what's making these images win. Like, why are these standing out to? And she kind of coined this thing or whatever, and I always kind of stuck with me. Like, what's the third element? What's that other little element? Like you said, get your subjects clean, it's sharp, it's looking in the right direction. You got your light, you got everything, but what's that other tipping scale? Like, is it a interaction? Is it a unique pose? Is it some other little thing? Like you said, that tuft of grass that kind of gives you that extra little thing in the image to look at. Like, what's that other thing in your shot to elevate? It's particular when you're talking about just a standard portrait of a bird, just sitting there on a perch or on the shoreline. Like, what's this other little thing?
Totally.
And I think that makes a difference when you're starting to look over your other images. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
So I locked in, like I said.
We talked about this right before we recorded. His bill looks so bent. It cracks me up every time. Up. Like, done ones always have a downturn at the end, but that one, I think it is. I don't know if it's just like the lighting as well, but like,
I don't know.
He looks
got
extra
like a
bent.
little bit of.
Yeah. I like.
But I just wonder, like I said,
he went too hard in on a rock.
Right? Just bent. I just wonder if it's just a little bit of dirt or something where he was kind of foraging that's kind of making up on the top there.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe that's making, I don't know.
It looks hilarious.
Maybe it's just
I can't stop laughing at it.
That's his little feature.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I just locked in like in that particular kind of area. It was the only thing that felt like at the time it was working. I believe it was kind of like fairly clear. I did 2 outings in this location.
Okay.
So like one was like a little bit more of a clearer day than the other, but Yeah, so luckily this guy kind of gave me a couple good looks.
Nice.
Fortunately, like the second outing I went, he wasn't there because I was like really wanting a few more chances. I knew I had a couple shots, but so then as I'm patiently waiting, like I said, just what this beauty of this location. This
just a snipe just casually rolls out, sure.
Right?
Like,
so
on.
If you just switch back to the landscape, the pond shot for a second, I'll just kind of show people. So to the to the left,
let me catch my cursor game.
There yeah. Yeah. So to the left, you can barely see, like there's some tall grasses, but that whole area is like taller grasses, there's cattails and everything. So somewhere there must be a breeding snipe. Because for a couple of years now, I've been fortunate enough that in around this time, I'm guessing the juvies from that brood or whatever kind of come out, and they're a little bit more chill. There's definitely still on edge a bit, but they're certainly not your typical adult snipe behavior. So, yeah, this guy just cruised out from the cattails, walked across the water, came over, played peekaboo like between some of the ducks that were lived there or whatever, but then just gave me a couple really nice looks. And I love that hint of like, I don't know if it was like, I guess little wildflowers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like little grassy stuff.
I saw that
there.
too. That was nice.
It's like a hint of color maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Nice touch.
Yeah, so he kept coming. So he kept like moving, kept coming over, shot him vertical. Then he stepped out like into he went through that little patch, that tuft as well.
Oh yeah,
in the grasses. So I was a little bit closer at that point.
Yeah, gave you the same yellow legs lighting. Yeah,
same, very similar lighting. So yeah, I was stoked about that. So
yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, the colors
and dude,
are great.
It was so funny.
Oh god,
he was like dead set on that Dunlin. He would not leave the Dunlin alone. He would. Oh yeah. And he would keep like, I don't know. I guess he was trying to like scare it off because he would go up and then posture and like flip up his back tail and jump and hop and bounce around them. And it was like, what are you doing? Like, it was fun to just kind of watch them interact.
Yeah, stuff. Totally. Oh, that would have been great video. Yeah.
It would have been, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so then I just kept playing around. Greater yellow legs kept going. Like, so at this point, he's like away from that whole grassy side and he came over to where I am. So when they pass where I am, it's a little bit shallow, but they'll go just a little bit of distance, and then I can use the back of the tree line that's there, which is shaded, creates a nice dark background, and then I'm just using some like the rocks and stuff in the foreground and the water to give me that little bit of bokeh. Yeah.
Do you ever like
before
the birds come in? Do you ever like try and like splash the rocks and get them wet for the bokeh? Like,
yeah, that's true.
That'd be nice, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't go in splashing around, chase everything away.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, bring a water bottle, just kind of spray it down.
Yeah, squirt a little bit around. Yeah. So you obviously seen there was a bunch of ducks. So it's the first outing I've been that now a bunch of the widgeon have returned, so it's a good location. They seem like it's one of the main spots that they kind of show up first before they kind of take off.
Nice.
And head out to like the different ponds and stuff. So that was probably that green-winged teal was probably like the better looking one. The rest of them are looking kind of drab right now, going through some molting.
The widgeon, you mean?
Or, or the widgeon, sorry.
Gotcha.
So when this guy came in, I just grabbed a quick shot.
Looking gorgeous,
He was kind of like checking me out, and I was kind of shooting like back towards like this. So I tried turning fully around to face him because it was a bit uncomfortable. Yeah. As soon as I did, he was like, "No, I'm going back further on the other side."
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah. But it was just nice. So then, as I'm lid there, so to me, it's just like it's now not obviously not all ducks are like this, but because I was just lid there for so long, and again, these are different mornings and stuff. These little green-winged teal, it's crazy. I've gone to so many other locations, and the green-winged teal, as soon as they see
that's a teal,
even from like, that's a green-winged teal, yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, I didn't even notice.
So far away, it's just a juvie, but they usually take off. This little dude, I mean, I could have 24 mil. Easy. Wow. This thing kept coming and coming. So this was just a quick. I'm not loving the shot, but it was just a nice to show kind of like a little bit. of a kind of an idea. I would love to shoot this.
Oh,
that
definitely.
side. So this is that right hand side.
I see that now. Yeah.
But I was shooting the shorebirds, and I turned, and he was like coming right next to me. I just turned and shot, like almost clipped the wings. It was a very quick action kind of thing that happened. But anyways, I said I'd just edit up just for fun.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's awesome, man. And I dig this one too.
Yeah, so this one particular one is so this one particular teal just is super chill, keeps coming up, and is just kind of like doing its feeding thing on the rocks and just picking around, but keeps coming up close to shore. So I'm just hoping one day I'll get the right light, because I like this composition.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about it I like, totally. But man, if I could get it like at first light when everything is just like lit up with golden tones, it'd be really
cool sky, really cool, calmer water, all that stuff, right? Like, would just like
all
keep
that
elevating it for sure. Yeah.
It would. So yeah, I'll try playing around a bit
nice,
more.
Man.
But yeah, dude, all in all, it was a good couple outings. And that location, there's a bunch of like the birch trees on the opposite side when fall really kicks in. So like in a couple weeks, that spot just, it's absolutely stunning. And
awesome.
The other beauty about it is that I can go, like if it's super windy, like even like 40K winds, that spot, if it's like southwest winds, it's dead calm in that little spot.
Yep.
So it's such a perfect area I can shoot.
That's cool.
Quite a few outings there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
nice, dude.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's a good week.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Yeah, definitely. You had some fun?
I did. Yeah. So I
God, that sky.
I know, it was crazy. Wow. I went down the shore. I knew I was going to like go down the shore. I wanted to record a video. It's been a while since I had the chance and time to record one of those point of view videos, like, showing me shooting and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's so funny, dude. I feel like every time, like, shorebirds, I have so many shorebird outings, but it's just like, that's what's easy and around and what I've been doing, Yeah. But we're going to get traveling again in, the next couple months. So it should start hopefully having some variety. But, yeah, I knew I wanted to go do that. And so I went down one evening, and I knew I was just going to stay overnight because I had a little bit of free time in my schedule. Emily's in Costa Rica now, having a blast. She keeps sending me monkeys in the property that she's staying in, and everything. Yeah, it's really cool.
That's awesome.
So I go down the one evening, and I got there like midday, and it was kind of an overcast day, and the forecast was calling for clearing the next morning. And so I went out and I just did another thing I've been wanting to do. It's on my to-do list, which was I wanted to do a follow-up on the autofocus technique or the autofocus modes from these Nikon Z cameras. I put out that video a while ago about bird mode working better than animal mode working better than
animal
bird mode
working
for birds. And so I put that video out, and then I got a bunch of people just saying, "Oh, you should try this. You should try this." Just which is great, right? You get the feedback, and it's just like, all right, that's valid. I didn't do any of that. I personally didn't think it was going to make a difference, but I didn't know, so it's worth a shot, because to me, dude, in my head, I got to say, like, Nikon, if you're going to put a bird mode on there, it should be better than the animal mode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like, if not, don't bother, It just doesn't make any sense to put it there unless it's going to be better. So I went out and I was like going to try all the other things, and I did. And so that video should be coming out, I think, tomorrow or soon, right? Which will be before this episode comes out. And it's still the same, man. I don't understand it. If anybody can actually show me examples, you and I and Jamin were talking, we think maybe birds in flight it might do better for her. But that's a hard one to test, and I just haven't had an opportunity to.
It is.
If I get an opportunity, I'll certainly try it. But dude, it makes no sense, man. And it's like, it's not even close. It's not even a little bit close.
No.
It's just like bird mode will consistently just pick the whole body or the back of a bird, and then nothing moves, right? I'm in the same spot. The bird hasn't moved. I switch to animal, boom, right to the eye, like instantly.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah. No, exactly. And it's true, because like, why did they come out? Because like you said, at first we only had animal eye track, and then announced that they were coming out with this bird one, so everyone was like, yes, bird is going to be so much better. And I think we just all switched.
Yeah.
And never questioned it for the longest time. And then when you brought it up to me, I was like, I don't know. I've never gone back. I know it's missed times, but then when I went back to animal, I'm like, oh, this is like a huge difference. Like,
it's a big distance.
It's not perfect.
Too. No, of course not. No, it's not perfect.
It's definitely better for sure.
And I think a lot of the arguments are coming from like the people that are still arguing me and saying that bird is better. I think they're all just shooting close stuff. And when it's close, I can't tell a difference. So I haven't found an example where it is better with static birds, and static meaning not in flight. Let me say that. I think in my head, the way I'm going to use it, I'm just in animal mode all the time. If I notice that I feel like I'm struggling in animal mode, I'll then switch to bird and try it. Like that's going to be my mode going forward. But for the most part, I'm in the animal mode all the time to photograph birds. And then great, if you do have wildlife come out that's not birds, you're all set. You don't have to fumble around switching.
Yep.
So
that's the way I look at it. Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, that video is coming out. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It should be already out by the time this comes out. So I did that. That was nice. I got some work done there, and then woke up the next morning. And dude, man, it was one of those things. Like I heard the winds howling out there. I stayed I just parked on the street, like a couple blocks away from this spot. And so it was nice, dude. Just wake up and just 2-minute drive, and I'm there. I do love that.
A lot of light. Yeah.
And I do. It was like the van was rocking in the morning when I woke up, and I'm like, oh no.
Wow.
I'm like, and then I'm like, do I bother? It's gonna be a pain. I'm so glad I did, man.
So I gotta ask you a question. So when you are planning an outing, like do you I'm obsessive over weather.
Oh, I didn't check a damn thing.
I always check. I can't do that.
I checked nothing.
I'm like everything. I'm checking tide. I'm checking wind direction.
I didn't even check the tides. The spot is usually better at low tide. I didn't check any of that. Really? I was just like, no, it's free time, dude. I'm like, free time. I want to go shoot. I'll just go.
I know.
And then see what happens.
No, I get it.
Yeah. If it was overcast, I would have still gone out and shot. I wouldn't have brought all my recording equipment, but I would have walked out with the camera and just played around, see if I could do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so I still would have made an outing out of it. Like, it is funny. We do that very differently. Yes.
I check everything.
Yeah. Well, because here's the other thing, right? If I saw this wind forecast, I might have passed on it because I would have been like, the sand's going to be blowing all over. Dude, I had a blast. Here, and I'll just start playing some of this stuff. I'm sure it'll be choppy for you, but it's playing smooth here. You can see the sand was just blowing on the ground there. And then, I had such a fun time, man. I was shooting all kinds of different stuff. I took the Z9 and the 100 to 400 out. Yeah. Just for a lighter setup. I didn't feel like dragging the big lens. Yep. It was darker out when I first got out.
Cool.
So I played with slow shutter speed, Sanderling running.
I really like that.
Yeah. Then jacked up the shutter speed a little bit when I started getting just enough light. And then shot some stuff like this, absolutely loving it, and this is the best part. You ready? Right? I love showing this kind of stuff. There's your straight out of camera.
Right?
And
which you have to, or that sky is so blown out. You wouldn't be able to recover it.
But it looks fine. It's completely fine, Yeah. And this scene was really nice. I didn't like the rocks back here, I gotta say. I thought they kind of made it a little bit messy. I wasn't a huge fan, but
I get because to me it's giving me a bit of context of why that wave is crashing up the way it is. Because the gull's got a white head, it doesn't get totally lost.
I know. I didn't like it in the moment.
Not, but
same here. But I was just like, that sky crashing wave light is cool. This one I preferred. It was just cleaner.
That's nice.
You know what I mean?
I really like that.
And then I'll just here's a little teaser on the video. Dude, so I shot it in the morning, drove back to my mom's, which is like an hour away, completely edited it all same day. I did. That's like a first. I've never finished an edit on one of these same day. But there you can see how dark it is in the camera, right?
Yeah.
But that's what the scene is like, while I'm shooting. And then watch at the end of this, dude, the sand blowing across was just insane. Like, wait, I clear out the video there and you can see just the sand in a second. And it's just, it was crazy how much it was blowing across, dude. Look at this. It's like, at one point, Brad, I'm not exaggerating. When I say I picked my hand up off the camera and like you couldn't barely see my hand separate from the camera. Like it was all just like completely like sand built up on it, like a snowdrift. And I just pick it up and shake it off, you know?
So what do you do for your gear in those scenarios? Like when you go back like to your camper van, like just how much you can do during, I guess you could.
In the moment. But dude, by the time you walk around with it, most of it falls off, you know? And here's the key, right? It's dry sand.
It's not
and
wet.
then it's a paintbrush. I just use a paintbrush and brush it all off and clean it up, you know? Yeah, here I've just grabbed this just to show like that sky was just like, real nice. But you know what the problem is? Like when you're stuck on a super flat beach like that, there's no way to really incorporate it.
It's not much. Yeah,
there's no
much you can
levels or anything. Like unless a bird came up to me really close and I could have gone wide. It just, you know, it was mostly still like telly shots, you know what I mean? Played around with some, these are royal terns flying by, which was cool.
Nice.
I love this one, sanderlings.
Oh,
yes.
That's cool.
And dude, we do not get waves like that here in New Jersey very often. Like, I don't know what was going on out there, but yeah, it was a mess.
That's cool.
There's what you look like after an outing, you know? Here's the camera. Look at it. Just everything, like all the zooms, everything covered. And this was after I like shook most of it off. And I know I'm giving so many people a heart attack right now.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many people cringing right now. I had one of my favorite comments once was I did a YouTube video where I had like I just had all my 400 millimeters I was doing and I had them just like sitting on the lens hood in some sand. And I had at least one or if not two people were like, I can't believe you put that down the sand. I'm like, it's the lens hood. It was like the plastic lens hood. Like, what?
But you can see it in the barrel part of like the zoom there. And I'm like, all I can picture is like go to grab, it's like,
I brushed it off and it came back and like I spin the rings and it falls out and you know, it's all good. So
you're so relaxed with your gear. Yeah.
Well, I just, you know, it's like, I want to shoot. What am I going to do? You know? Like,
I know.
I got to say, it was also like a blast being down there and that, other than like, you know, squinting with the sand in the eyes, but like, it was just like a fun experience, you know?
Oh, definitely.
It was like another version of like when we went out in that crazy wind and rain in Newfoundland and took people out and everybody had a blast, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, I had a good time, just tried to shoot some diversity and variety, play with the light, as you saw in those clouds earlier, it was, it gave me like I had a full hour of shooting and the light was still it was still shootable by the time I was done, you know what I mean? But I just I figured like I'm just gonna wrap it up because I don't need to keep you know, just staying out here forever kind of thing. But yeah, dude,
you got some good variety.
I had a great time, man. It was so fun.
Nice. And definitely.
This is a beach I haven't been to in a couple of like maybe 3 years, something like that. Probably 2-3 years.
Okay, cool.
And it was nice to go back and it's just the same, right? It's just like the layout's the same and like just like the marsh on the last episode I talked about going to, you know, it's like it is kind of like a fun nostalgia coming back to these places and
for sure.
Thankfully with that wind and sand blowing, there was pretty much nobody else out there, just like one or two people and this one lady. I'm like, do you not see I have a camera?
Just walk right towards
dancing around in the surf and I'm like, good for you. I'm glad you're having fun. But like, come on, it's that section is protected from development, right? So I think it's probably 2 miles of just open beach that you could go anywhere. And where's this lady dancing around the surf? Like right in front of me, you know? I'm like, I mean, I didn't get upset. There's just plenty of birds. But it's just like
whatever,
I'm like, what? Why? Why are you right here? And then I'm like standing there. She comes walking. She's like, can you take a photo of me? I'm like, oh, I wanted to chuck her phone in the ocean. I'm just kidding. But like,
are you serious?
Yeah, no. She's like, I know you're busy. You know, but can you do this? Like, I got all my recording equipment hooked up. There's like GoPros and stuff. I'm like, lady,
That's hilarious.
I was having a great day. I was in a great mood, but you know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter. But yeah, it was.
Oh, man. I'd hate to see if she caught you in one of your bad moods. Drowned her.
Yeah.
Stuck her head in the ocean.
No, it was just, I think it was okay. I was totally fine with it because there was enough birds that were just all around, and they were constantly getting flushed by waves and stuff like that. And so it was not a big deal. But if it was like, if I was like working on a subject and there was like what if there was like one special thing there, and then somebody comes in, it's just like, it's more frustrating,
Lost it.
Yeah,
very frustrating. For sure.
There we go. There's our catch up. Cool, 45 minutes in. Our standard.
Nice. standard ramble.
Yeah.
That's good though, man. It's Good Friday. It's fun to see.
I know. Look at us. We got a good set there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it is fun too. It's like totally different approach. Like, have you ever shot the like this what I'm showing, like the standard just wide open beach shorebird thing? You haven't, right?
Sandy, like wide open.
I didn't think so.
Well, there's nothing here.
I know. There's one or two spots, but they're far and they're not.
Yeah, I'd have to drive like super, super far. And then I don't know the areas, whether or not they're consistent with shorebirds. Like, so most of the areas I go, it's like, it's rocky, or it's like, a lake like that, that's for whatever reason is attracting some of the shorebirds there. But no, most things it's not. Like, there's one other location I used to go, but what used to draw me there was like this huge mussel bed at the end of the beach. And the beach then was like, only if the tide was super, super low would it be kind of like sandy.
Yeah.
But I used to go at low tide and go all the way out to the mussel bed. So I never took advantage of like the beach itself. It was just because tons of like in every shorebird species we would typically get would show up there.
Oh,
wow. But it's just the light takes a little bit longer to kind of hit that spot, and then I don't know, just the mussels, like, because there's so much of it, it's not the prettiest unless you get like, you got to get super, super low, and it's just but yeah, I'd love to. Like,
I was just gonna ask, does it appeal to you?
That, like, it does for the cleanliness. Like, I think that clean kind of like portrait kind of style, and then the potential to maybe go wider with stuff, like you said, if the clouds are right and the bird came in, like. Yeah, I think I would definitely love to do that, but I think I've come to appreciate like our rockier beaches, like with backlit, like you said, with water on the rocks and stuff. It just gives you this crazy cool bokeh to play with. Yeah. So, but I would, I'd love to try it sometime.
Yeah, I think it's always like you, in general, you kind of like yearn for what you don't have, right? And so like I see your stuff and I'm like, oh man, that seems like so much more dynamic, so much more to play with. Like, you get out on an open beach, just like, all right, it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. But there's still, I mean, look, like we both created a lot of diversity in the same areas that we were in. So it does show that there is other stuff to do there. So,
for sure.
Yeah. All right. What do you think? Topic time?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we're going to talk about, we're talking about photo contests, and not just talking about them.
Yeah.
We're going to look through some of them. So we're going to look through, we're going to start with good old bird photographer of the year. We've been waiting on this one just for this to be released, so we could talk about, then show some of these photos. We're also going to talk about, we're going to look through some of the 2025 Audubon Awards here in the States. And if we have time, a little bit of the ocean photographer of the year. I think that's what it's called, or ocean something like that, right?
Yeah.
And let's do a little bit of a caveat, or kind of a prep for everybody listening, because we are going to talk about what we like, and we're going to talk about what we don't connect with. So listen, everything's just our opinion, right? Just everything we share here is our opinion and our experience. And I thought of something you were saying earlier when we were talking about one of your photos, Brad, that I want to bring up in a second here, and have a quick discussion about that before we jump into these. But yeah, it's just our opinion, guys. We're going to trash photos, but we are probably going to question some of them and question what is being, like, what are judges seeing there? You know what I mean? Because I think that's kind of the sort of questioning part for us. Brad and I both did participate in Bird Photographer of the Year. We both got photos selected for the book, so we didn't place in any categories this year. We both have placed in categories in the past. Right, Brad? You've had multiple different category placements, I think.
Multiple. Got to cover the book one year,
exactly.
Same year that I placed second. Yeah.
Neither of us have participated in the Audubon one. We both stopped on that one a few years back when we...
Yeah, I think I entered once.
Yeah, I think I did maybe a couple years, and then it just, when I started seeing like a lot of the stuff, I wasn't connecting with that contest, so I stopped. You know what I mean? I just, it wasn't my preference is basically what happened, right? And so, yeah, and then Ocean Photography here, that stuff, or let me click on it. What is it called? So I call it the right thing here.
It's Ocean.
It is Ocean Photography of the Year. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. That stuff is all incredible. Like everything, I feel like that's like one of the tops.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So, be aware, everything is just our opinion here. But we do want to talk about kind of what we see as good and bad, like we don't want to just say, yeah, everything's amazing. And if we don't connect with something, that's really all it means, So we wanted to have a little discussion about that. Go ahead.
And I think the thing is just to kind of like, we're coming at this from, our years and years of experience doing photography. Those standard criterias that like we were talking about when we were kind of going over the Yellow Lake shot, like, sometimes certain images, they're still good images, but it makes you kind of question, like, well, wait a minute, like it's missing certain elements that you would think as like Bird Photographer of the Year or Ocean Photography or whatever, like highlighting the best of the best in the world. These are like they said, 33,000 images.
Yeah. Why
that particular one? Like there's head scratchers sometimes. And again, not like, I want to preface that we're not downing any photographers here or their, particular image. We're questioning why that image maybe kind of got to the top of the ladder, and it's just like, well, what are we missing? And what does it show the other, like our photography community? Like, what message are you sending? To me, a contest, we should all be like, man, these are amazing. If I get in, I'm going to be super, super stoked. And like, I need to be on my game. It's got to be like the best images out there. Like push yourself. But if there's just images all over the place and it's like, my grandmother could have took that shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like it makes you just wonder, like it looks, I guess I should say what I mean by that is like a snapshot. Like there was not much thought process in it, but yet that image squeezed in or made it into the top of the top. And it's like, wait, how can you compare this to that? So anyways, I just want to, like I said, we're not dissing anybody's work. We're just coming at it from a
and
professional opinion.
Well, and I think there's a difference of like a photo not being your style. I've totally seen tons of photos, placing in contests where I'm like, that's not my style, but I appreciate that for what it is. Like I can see, okay, I can see why a judge would pick that, even though I maybe wouldn't if I was a judge, but I can see why, right? Like there's totally tons of examples of that. I think there's a big difference between that and between a lot of like, listen, it's not just you and me having these conversations. We have these conversations with a lot of our peers. And then there's sometimes where we all see the same photo and not one person goes, like we're all just like, huh?
Yeah.
And so I think that's where like some of these discrepancies come in. And I'm kind of, our earlier conversation about your yellow legs made me think of this question, Brad. Do you think it's because we are both more of bird portrait and wildlife portrait photographers than action photographers? That causes us to always sort of have a hierarchy of like the three main things, or like the main things, right? We talked about it earlier, like light, composition, and technical stuff, right? It feels like those are like the three main things, just like at a minimum, right? That's the minimum barrier to entry to getting a photo chosen in a contest.
Yep.
But if you are not a portrait photographer, if you concentrate on action, I feel like that light component goes out the window so many times. And I wonder if that's what brings up a lot of kind of head scratching for us is maybe like, is that okay? Should that be? I mean, I still am of the opinion of, I don't care even if it has action, it should have great light as well and not be horrible unless the moment is absolutely so over the top unique.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. And I think I agree. But I think and exactly what you just said, like, I think there needs to be still a baseline with the action stuff, right? Like, it just can't be that some action happen unless, like you just said, it's just this craziest, probably a once in a lifetime, once in a million. No one will ever see this kind of interaction or behavior happen. And then who cares what the light was or how close the background is to it or whatever. But there are shots, and we'll see some of them where, dude, we both know we've seen the same behavior, the same shot type of thing, but yet it's got the background, it's got the light, it's got more elements to it, so then it makes you go like, okay. Like,
so
like
let's start with the most well-deserved shot here,
the banger.
Like, yes.
Yes,
Liron, yes, dude, that is man, thank you, good choice, bird photographer of the year. Yes.
Yes, you did very well.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody can argue that one, I don't know, you know. And I had the pleasure of having Liron on a show I was doing, The Story of the Shot. So I'll include a link to that if you want to hear and see him talk about everything that went up to it. He also shared on his own YouTube a whole background story of capturing and the planning and everything of getting this image. So, I mean, not much more to say. It's incredible in every way. This has it all.
But I think the thing for me, and it's what always kind of stood out sometimes when I've had or when I've seen images that get the grand prize winning and are head scratcher, like, because we've heard the backstory, because you've spoken to him and I've seen his work and he shared certain things leading up to this, not the full everything, but like, you know, the planning that went into this. Like, this person is a true wildlife photographer to me. He spent years, like, you know, or at least a year or whatever, looking over maps, figuring out a colony, figuring out where the light was or this eclipse was going to happen. Like, put so much work into it. Did prep sessions prior, like testing things out, like just did everything. And I mean, look at the shot. Like, it's just incredible because of the hard work that he put into it. That's a wildlife photographer. That's a bird photographer. You know what I mean? So it's, so well deserving. There's just no question at all that this should have gotten it for sure.
Now, I'll argue on that one, Brad, that, you know, none of that is usually known or should even matter in the final result of the contest, right? Like, if you're a judge and you're seeing that, the amount of time and planning and effort that went into a shot, you know, like
the likelihood, I know, but as a judge, I think for me, I would be like, the likelihood that he strolled out with the camera.
No, totally. You understand
like,
that.
Friggin' bird. Like,
you're not.
That's what I mean. Like,
you know, he didn't just roll up and that happened. Oh, look, an eclipse. Yeah. Like,
exactly.
Or, of course.
Or had any influence. Like, there was no way this, like, could have been, like, staged or manipulated in any which way. This was straight out planning. Like,
but
there was, you know, and I agree, they don't see this, but I think looking at it, for me, as if I was a judge, I'd be like, oh yeah, like, this guy had to have planned this out. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many elements that would have to be put into place to get this shot.
But it also has everything else, right? It's just incredibly eye-catching, right? A very unique perspective, just shooting up from underneath of a bird, right? That's not something a lot of people do and do well, right? Compositionally, we got like just a beautiful diagonal. We have a very recognizable, unique shaped bird. The wingtip just touching the edge right there, the flare off of the eclipse, and then just the drama and light that's coming in, like very challenging exposure, right? So all of these other things are there as well to make this image worth it, you know? So like, even ignoring the fact of how much planning and time and effort probably took place, or we know took place, to capture this photo, it still can win on the photo merits alone, you know?
Definitely. I agree.
And then we have Audubon over here. I mean, sorry, I got to do it. I just got to jump right to it. And like grand prize winner, like this is where I just scratch my head. I just don't know what to say. I mean, listen, cool moment of a kingfisher coming out of the water.
Yep.
I know nothing about this photographer. I know nothing about this species because it's a ringed kingfisher. So not a belted kingfisher. So I don't know how possible and predictable they are. The first thing that is a challenge for me with any kingfisher shot like this is I know most of the ones I've ever seen are baited. I'm not at all saying this person did that. I highly doubt they did, but it just makes it like, if I'm a judge, I'm like, ugh, gosh, so many of these are, you know, like, do we want to promote that?
Well, well, and I mean, I guess for me, like, no offense, but if it was baited, do a better job at lining your stuff up because, you know, the background is distracting to me. Light is not pleasing at all. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's super harsh coming in from that angle from the back. And, you know, and I guess that's the thing. Just sort of go back to what I had said before. Like, we've all seen these types of shots. Kingfisher just coming out of the water or just going into the water or whatever the case may be. And we've seen them with super clean backgrounds and super, you know, and maybe the judges were coming from it at this angle that this wasn't baited, that this was just
and listen, I have to say, I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure they had to like talk to the photographer and everything like that, right? It really doesn't feel like it. I don't think at all it is. I just say like that is part of kingfisher photos so often that it's like it's tough to put that at the top because of how often that happens. So I really don't think it is, but like, yeah, dude, like it just, and I'd like to add, because it very likely wasn't, you like, that's a hard photo to get. I give a ton of credit to the photographer and what we just talked about, Brad, of it, you know, it's great when a lot of work and planning and effort went in. That probably is what happened here. I'm again doubting that the photographer just rolled up and happened to nail a kingfisher just randomly diving in front of him. Like there's a good chance they had to spend a lot of time with this bird. This could be the same individual and learn where they did and just try again. Yeah. But like, you know, like, yeah, you captured it sharp. That kind of is it for me on this, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a sharp photo.
Yeah, and that's and
all it gets for me.
And I think that's the thing. So like this is where like you would almost love to talk to like the judges or the director or founders of Audubon contests to be like, okay, so what's your baseline? Like what are your checked off? Like for us coming from it from a photographer perspective, like we want good light, clean background, no distracting elements, like there's our list of like, it has to at least have this. Yeah. Because if this is the grand prize winning image, let's look at those elements and it automatically fails some of them, right? Yeah, like the lighting is not good. There's background distractions, like those highlights and just like, I guess it's lily pads where it just feels distracting. Like the bird's head almost kind of gets lost a little bit. Like there's just,
well, I was just going to say, even if you're going to shoot in that light, just like we were talking about earlier with your yellow legs, if the bird was flying into the light, it would probably be an improvement, you know? So it's already like, I was going to say arguably, but it's not arguably. It's already harsh lighting, you know? Like this is harsh contrasty lighting. It's not to say cool photos can't be done in that. I feel like I've done some myself and I've seen plenty others, right? But there's a way to do that, right? But it's harsh light and it's flying the wrong direction in that light. So it really does leave you head scratching. I give them the credit for capturing this moment. The moment is incredible. I would not deny that at all. But listen, if this was a birding contest and just showing behavior, sure, who cares about the quality, right? This is an incredible behavior and moment of like showing what kingfishers do. But it's a photo contest. Is it though? I mean, it shows what kingfishers do. If it wasn't like a photo quality contest.
But it's not unique.
No, it is
That's
not
my
unique.
problem.
Yeah,
it's like
you're right. It's not unique.
Because we're saying this is the grand prize. This is the best of the best of the best.
I don't understand this because they have grand prize there and then grand prize here. Leron, again, just doubling up. Why not?
Right.
So I don't know why there's 2 grand prizes.
Yeah.
But then look, like, I mean, this, why, again, this checks all the boxes.
It does. Yep. It does.
And so when the same contest is awarding that, and I'm sorry, I apologize for the photographer.
Yeah.
But that, I don't get it. And so that leaves me head scratching, and that makes me not want to enter a contest like this, because if I can at least say to myself, oh, it's not my style, but I can see the merit in an awarded photo. I don't want to be a part of that, because I know it's only going to lead to an exercise in frustration. And I think it goes so much to what we've talked about a lot, Brad, in past conversations about these contests, which is the judging and who's judging and their photography and preferences, right? And that's got to be a part of it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing for me. And that's why I stopped doing the Audubon one, is because I do, like, when I sit down, like, so, you know, I'm planning on doing entering bird photography of the year this coming. They just open up again.
Nice.
And I decided I'm gonna do it again, but I have my set criteria. I'm gonna go back over years of work, or, you know, past 2 years of work, and I'm looking for certain images that have a checklist of certain things. And to me, those things are what I think all other photographers hold a standard. Like, this has got to be this,
it's not
this,
just
and this.
your made up rules.
It's just not my made up rules. These are like across the board, our community. This is kind of what we're all striving for and what we're looking at. If I'm pulling those images to enter into a contest that then awards and selects images that don't have those basic criteria checked off,
it's not
then
the
I'm
contest
like, I'm scratching my head. Well, yeah, because I don't. Yeah. Because then I might as well just enter every image I've got. You know what I mean? Whether it's shit or
like,
not.
How do you know?
And like whatever the light is, I don't know what you want. Like, because it's all over the place. Like, there's no consistency. You're awarding images that don't meet the standard basic, you know, approval of what we as photographers. So it's head scratching. Yeah.
Killer set on the portfolio from Bird Photography of the Year. Yeah,
really cool.
I remember seeing some of these along the way. Name is escaping me. Right? How to pronounce right? Matuus. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce.
Don't worry.
Love it. You know, just like wonderful diversity. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time at that field, you can tell, like went in all kinds of different light, tried different lenses, did everything, what you'd want to see in a portfolio for sure.
I think in the interest of time, we'll just skip the video stuff, you know.
But really well done. I did watch them.
Did you?
Last night.
I haven't had a chance yet.
Definitely. Yeah, the winning one is really well done. Really well done. Really well shot.
Portrait stuff. Love it. I gotta say, I would have entered that in as a portrait myself. You know?
Which one?
The snowstorm over here on the right, like this guy. I don't think I would have. It's got so much environment, you know. Like, I don't think.
You wouldn't have. I thought you said you would have. I'm like,
no, I'm saying I don't think I would have entered it. You know, it's just funny, and I'm not. I love the photo. All three amazing. It's just interesting that it was entered in portrait category and won in portrait category. And I mean, it does. Listen, it shows off that bird in an amazing way.
It does.
I think I would have just gone like, this feels more bird environment for me, but obviously the photographer chose correctly here, you know, because he placed with it. Luca's great, Maxime, and I'm not familiar with the photographer on the first one, but damn, like that's a.
I know, right? That's a
get you a portrait.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that bird is just known for its.
I know.
Like, right? Yeah. It just makes it.
Yeah, and on a chart.
Maxim shots.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With the breath.
I know.
Like, so cool.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, really, really nicely done.
Yeah, yeah, doesn't do it for me. But again, at least like, right, good light, good moment, background's fine there. I love the way they're nestled together. Like the more I look at it, the more I like it. It just doesn't catch my attention right off the bat. Yeah.
The goofiness of the middle one, like
yeah, it is super cute, right? This I love. Absolutely love that, and again,
yeah, it's a unique perspective for sure.
Well, and interesting to go in a portrait category, right? I would have thought this would have been more of like an abstract thing, but yeah, like I love it. I absolutely love it,
Yeah, well, don't they have that? They've got that creative section, so I thought maybe it would have been better in there.
And then this is nice. I feel like I can never see a photo of these Dalmatian pelicans and not just think about the whole scenario around them with how they're like, all lured in with fish and everything. So that just, unfortunately, I love the portrait itself, but again, if I was judging and a part of that contest, like, do I want to promote that? Or maybe it wasn't taken there. Maybe it was taken somewhere else. I don't know. I don't know where else they were photographed, but
yeah, and that's the worst thing is once like it gets out there more and more about these like baited areas, like it almost just puts this mark on them, I find, at least for me. It's just like you're just assuming, just like the kingfisher, it's like you see a wild moment like that and you're like, okay, it must have been baited.
I know,
right?
and it sucks,
like,
right?
At least in that area.
It's unfortunate because it ruins it for those that haven't. Those that are putting in all the hard work and everything, that it's shortcutted so much that so many people's thoughts are automatically going in that direction. And I'm saying that's wrong, right? It's wrong that it happens to me, that I do that. I'm not saying it's a correct behavior, but it is what happens. And so that's what I mean. Like, as a contest, aren't you aware that that's what happens? And going back to that kingfisher, like, it would have to be the ultimate kingfisher shot for me to say, all right, it outweighs the fact that a lot of people might think this is bait or connect this with baiting and stuff like that. And maybe we need to write about that and specifically hear the story from the photographer. And maybe there was, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I feel bad attacking that kingfisher photo so much, but it was just the one that was there, I love this. Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is a great connection, right?
Absolutely.
Prey and subject. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really nicely done.
So well done with this one.
These.
The textures and I love the additional footprints. The additional footprints are really what tells a story to me.
Yeah, and I don't know why in my head it's like I like paint this picture of like that's the same bird just going up and down, just doing laps up and down. It's like his workout or something.
That's
so good. But really, really the texture
beautiful. I love that the one has got the head up.
I've just seen it
so many
much,
times. Dude. I know. It's a beautiful shot.
It's 100%, that reflection, the stormy clouds. Like I look at each of the penguins, like you've got an interaction between two on the left, the head up on the middle one, like just really well done. It's just 33,000 images, and we keep saying I can go back previous years.
Oh, you mentioned that,
and see penguin shots on a beach. Like, and I think like our friend, like Josh Galicki at one point, he won something or placed with a very similar penguin portrait on a beach.
I know, I was just gonna say,
like
I feel like it's like Falklands, but there's no info on it. You know what I mean? Or is there? No. Yeah.
No, there's not.
Like,
which is strange. I think they used to put info.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but if it is, and you can like pick the place, it does take away from the uniqueness of it, And speaking of uniqueness, like, really, guys, bird photographer of the year, can we be done with gannets diving underwater for fish that are thrown in there? Like, is that just a requirement now every year? They're beautiful photos, but like, come on.
Yeah. I think this becomes my head scratcher with this. And I think, like when Ray and I talked about kind of going through the contest and giving our straight opinion, like, there's sometimes a little hesitation because you're like, I don't want to come across as like these arrogant and like we know all, and we don't. We're sharing our, our experience and our opinions and our thoughts on this stuff. But for me, again, these look cool. When I'm looking at them,
it's a stunning photo. I love the photo.
I'm
not trying to say anything against that.
but bird photographer of the year, you promote conservation. That's your big message.
Yeah.
You have a whole section, birds on the brink. Like, there's a whole thing around it. These birds are baited.
Yeah.
Let's stop. Like, let's stop promoting this. Like, to shoot this bird at 24 mil or whatever in many cases, because if you're getting them that many in a frame and it's that wide, you're 24 or less. These birds are like only feet from this camera and the boat, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, like
totally.
You're drawing these birds in like that. And these birds are diving, many of them.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just swimming up. This isn't a duck or a whatever that's just swimming up to a boat. These birds are like feet up in the air and plummeting down close.
It's got to be such an amazing experience to see it that close, to see them like diving in, watch them go under the water, the clear water like that. Like, I would love to experience it sometime, but yeah, beyond it, like and what we've talked about, right, dude? If you're I don't know, do they use the same judges year after year? Do you know? Is there some that are the same?
They try, I think, for the most part. There's been consistent ones throughout, but they do switch every so often, like a new one or two will come in. But
even if
it's not something they rotate between.
Even if not, don't you think part of like, hey, if there's a new set of judges comes in every year and I'm running bird photography of the year, I'd be like, hey, can you all look at what was chosen last year and not choose a bunch of the exact same stuff again? Like, sorry. I mean, like, shouldn't the contest show some diversity in winners? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you can have, like, damn well, again, I'm not, I haven't judged at this level, but from those that I've talked to that I know in the community, there's conversations between the judges when it gets to that final stage, right? Because you have to have a consensus, right? And so you get to a certain level and there's a bunch of images that are still left that they're having to choose for. Like, how does somebody not go, oh, we're doing this again? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It just seems bizarre.
Or not only that, wouldn't they be like, hey guys, I don't want to, we're not promoting this.
Yeah, that too.
Like, this is bad behavior. Like, this is not something we want. Like, you know, those pelicans, like there's videos out there. They're sitting on top of the boats.
Yeah, you can see them chucking the fish.
Cruising by.
Yeah, totally.
And they're chucking the fish out. Yeah. Like, it's just not something we want to promote.
No. This is a great example of a photo.
This has such a...
Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say, Brad?
No, I was just going to say, I just love the painterly feel. It literally looks like a painting. It's so well done. Yeah,
well, I was just going to say, it's one that doesn't fully appeal to my taste, but I really do appreciate it, right? I can see why it was chosen. Like, it has aesthetic things. Like, so that to me is like, that shows like a good choice in a contest, right? Is just like, yeah, I don't get it. Maybe I don't connect with this one for whatever reason. I do see that I didn't even notice, but like, is there like a
he's down there,
predator down there, like that's flushing everything?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So cool behavior as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, those hidden things too, the more you look at the image, right?
This is a stunner in every way.
Ugh,
you know?
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, listen, like we'll scroll through. We don't need to go through every photo and break it down. I did find it interesting here. Two of the bird behavior photos that placed were both just birds like
static.
Calling. Like just kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I know it is sort of courtship behavior, I guess. So I'm not saying it's not behavior, but yeah, it was just interesting that they both ended up being that. This one is hilarious. Like, I love that pose. It's feathers all in its face.
But you know what, dude? Again, like, I love it. Go back, I think 2 years ago. Exact same bird, exact same pose.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. What is this?
I've seen it because when I saw it, I was like, no, I can't remember what it is.
It's not a rough, right? Yeah, it's something else.
No, it's not a rough. No.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, again, I've seen the exact same.
Yeah, that's so weird to me. Yeah.
And honestly, like the exact same pose. Such a cool bird. Like, no doubt. Like, really, really cool. But
and I gotta say, it's so funny to me when like the highly commended just screams out like winner and more appropriate for the category. Because to me, like both, like all three of these down at the bottom, like connect more towards bird behavior than like just birds like calling and like, you know, showing off. Like, listen, if you have these grouse or whatever this is with the like the female next to it and it's showing that behavior. But just like on its own, it just feels like another portrait to me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then this, like, talk about bird behavior. Like, that's crazy. Right? That's so good. Now, look, dude, what are the odds that this is going to happen right in front of you? But it also has the light. It also has the background. Like, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it still checks off all those boxes, even though it's like the craziest, like, once in a lifetime behavior, right?
Yeah.
What?
So I've seen so many of this particular, like, location setup thing where I've seen jays and the hawk almost like in a setup where, like, there's been stuff like laid out and then they ended up interacting or chasing each other. So it makes me kind of question, but again, I don't want to do that because it is a stunning shot. You got your background, your light, both birds don't intersect, wings, like, what's the chance of having both of their wings perfectly spread out like that?
But if it is a stage setup that's causing that, then that changes it for sure. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the thing with so much of this stuff, man. Yeah.
I don't want to say that the photographer was in a location like that, but yeah, that's such a cool. And to get it, like, looking up,
the symmetry there.
You know what I mean? Like, looking up at it,
the
like,
shape.
Yeah,
shape is incredible.
Really well done.
Wonderful moment.
I'd love to know if that previous shot was like an intentional, like, I know this behavior is going to happen. I want to shoot up at it and get that.
So my understanding when I've seen videos of this bird, Brad, is I think even when they're horizontal, they posture that way, right? I think they posture kind of like up like that.
You're right.
So I don't think the photographer is necessarily like shooting from like underneath, you know, like maybe there's a little bit of an up angle, but I think from the videos I've seen, that's just what these birds do. Like, they're just that goofy.
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're showing off to the female who's above them, and they're trying to, like, flash the throat up like that. You know what I mean? I think that's
but still, they whack their heads back and forth, kind of thing.
Right, but still, like, this is the kind of thing where, like, as a judge, I mean, my gosh, the symmetry that happened here. It doesn't matter if you know the behavior's there and you know exactly where it's going to be. To get that bird lined up in the right spot where you're lined up and the light's good, the background is not distracting, and a proper, like, a good exposure and bright that shows off the black, and then to get that shape and symmetry there, like, that's such a wonderful thing that's happening. You know, like, listen, I love this, right? This is a great moment, but, like, you know, you were shooting the thing there, and then the thing came in, which is great, and you shot it well. But again, it's just like that uniqueness of something like this, to me, really stands out, you know? Birds in flight stuff. This thing is like mind-blowing.
It's wild. I can't figure it out.
Still, I think it's a drone photo. It feels like it's overhead.
That's what I thought. And then overexposed water, maybe?
No, you know what? I read somewhere... I saw a caption a little bit about what it was. I should have saved it too. I can't remember what it was. It's like some kind of mud situation thing, but it didn't fully explain, like, I mean, it's trippy, dude. It just, like, when you have a photo like this and you can't figure out, I think that's so cool.
Yeah. Reminds me of, like, back years and years ago when I used to look through, like, the not telescope. You know, I used to put the slides in, like you put a blood splatter or something, or squeeze or something. You used to look at the cells and stuff,
microscope.
And you're just seeing all this wacky, microscope. There you go.
Yeah,
all the textures and stuff. But then there's birds coming through.
I know. It is trippy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good stuff there. So
it's unique. Yeah, it's different. You don't see it.
It really is. I mean, I think we're kind of just running out of time here, you know, because I don't want this episode to be like forever long. But I guess, you know, let's scroll through, like, because there are some amazing photos in Audubon, you know, like, there we go. That's a really cool moment. I love this one. Like, talk about a storytelling shot.
Do you? I do. One didn't.
Yeah, that one really connected with me.
I don't know why it didn't. I get the connection. It's definitely, you know, the composition's there for I don't know why it didn't.
No, that's totally.
Really.
But so in that context, though, Brad, does it still? I can't show the whole dang photo there. It's just too big. Does it still meet the criteria where you're like, oh, I could see at least why it was chosen, even though I don't connect with it? Or is it kind of beyond that?
Yeah.
And just like,
definitely.
It's not a head scratcher, though, right?
No, compositionally, everything lays out really nice. You definitely get the connection between the traffic and where this bird is. The birds don't intersect, like their heads are separated enough. They stand out nice. The light is pleasing on them. There's, it definitely does.
That's the thing, right?
Like many of the boxes.
Exactly. I feel like that's. I guess I question how come every photo doesn't do that, And I feel like in certain contests, every photo does, right? Like you see at certain contests, you look at these winners and you're just like, okay, yeah, maybe it just doesn't do anything for me, but I can see like it has this, it has this, it has this. Like it checks all those minimums, right? And then when you get into ones that don't, it just starts to go like, sorry again here. This is another perfect example.
So, and I won't name names, but I know someone that, and you know this individual as well, that place in the top 100, 2 turns, interacting, exchange, pretty sure it's an exchange of a fish in it, on a beach, nothing's clipped, everything is perfect, and I'm like, okay, what happened? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And this is for me, where it's like, so what's the checklist of these judges that takes that image and the other one that I'm speaking about, and I'll send it to you after, or tell you who after anyways, right? And it's like, sorry, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
Right? The other individual's image coming from a photographer's standpoint, like from the, what we think is the baseline, like the other one checks all of those boxes. And like, I don't feel this one does. Like, because as photographers, like, unless it's an urban shot,
correct,
we usually try to stay away from human elements within an image. We don't want to clip.
That's why I was trying to look at the category.
I get it,
but it doesn't have the category, so I didn't know if it was like in an urban one. But like, it also isn't really a good urban environment. It's just a railing, so it doesn't really go either way. Like, it feels like it's not a great natural shot because it's got the railing. And then if you're going to go urban, it doesn't connect with the urban thing there. You're totally right about like a bunch of parts being clipped, which whatever. I mean, you can clip parts and it can work really well. I don't know that this one does it. And then we have the lighting thing. It's like that lighting thing again. I'm just like, I think, and that's what I was questioning, Brad. Like, you and I wouldn't even be out at this time of day taking photos. We just know the quality of light wouldn't be there, right? So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it because we're bird portrait photographers more than we are action photographers, that there's a disconnect there between our preferences and tastes and understanding of what's good versus this? And maybe that's the thing. Like, because I feel like there's got to be something here. There's got to be a reason that like stuff like this gets awarded at this level, and like you read about it, the caption, I was just like looking at the caption, right? Capturing this image required patience, attention to detail, and above all, enduring the sun's intense heat. Like, I'm sorry, but like, doesn't that, maybe you should have been out early in the morning. Then you wouldn't have to endure the, like, what?
Well, and I mean, the thing is, Ray, you're up in, down south where there's more of these turns and more interaction and around these colonies and such. Like, you've seen so many of these on the beach, and like, I've seen so many of these shots, like of these exchanges with, with both parent or with the young. And it's just like, I guess for me, I know there's so many other ones out there. Maybe they weren't in this contest at the time, but I guess to me, it's like, when you know the level of quality of images that are out there that are produced time and time again, how can you look at a shot like this and go, oh yeah, but this deserves to be at the top of, I'm sure Audubon gets 20,000 images as well, if not more. Sure. I'm assuming. I can't remember. I don't know if they detail how many.
I don't remember. And
again, like look, like, there's decent enough exposure on them, I guess, that you're not losing any, like you're not.
I mean, the interaction's wonderful.
One in shadow. Like, the interaction's great, but I just think to be at the top of the
I agree.
Top, just, I don't know.
This to me qualifies as a birding contest, right? It's showing bird behavior. But when you add the word photo into it, and I do believe, like, it's Audubon Photography Awards. That's when like those criteria start to come in here. Like, and if we look at just like what they show in their grid here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you were judging, Brad, which of these would you pick to place?
Top middle.
Same. Maybe bottom middle. I like the nesting material as well.
Or the behavior.
Yeah. But
those two for me are the only ones that really,
and like,
really
not for nothing, but
out.
like Audubon, this is what you chose to lead your page with.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we missing?
I really, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I really would love to know, like, again, like, you know, I think we know one individual within the judging panel this year.
Yep.
I don't know the experience the other ones have in terms of photography. Like, I think if you're picking judges for your photography contest, I'd want some of the best photographers out there. Like, those are the ones I would love. You know, so anyway, so I want to mention this before you move on.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Because I think I want to highlight this. So for years past, Canadian Geographic runs a contest as well. And for a couple of years, I entered the contest. And I got the same frustration as I do with Audubon. Images that were picked were clearly, to me, not picked by someone who has photography experience, photography knowledge, that was looking at it from a photographer's standpoint. It seemed like it was either some type of message they want to promote, and it didn't really matter what the image was, or it was a lot of head scratching. The past 2 years, there's been a major shift, and the images that have been picked, the way they promote it, just everything about that contest has now shifted, and in a way that I think excites the photography community to want to be involved, to want to enter, because they're like, oh, okay, they are actually recognizing good photographers now, photography that should win, that should then grab the attention of an audience outside of a photography community, because if the images are at a high quality level and that there's like really cool behavior, really cool light, it's gonna grab attention when you post it all out there on social media. So I truly wish Audubon kind of gathers themselves up and get some people involved that, to me, can really push that and elevate that, because I guarantee they would see a flood more contest entries and people get more excited about it and, you know, be sharing it and whatever, if they focused a little bit more on upping their criteria for the winners for that contest.
Yeah, and not for nothing, you know, just again on the Audubon stuff, right? Just knowing like a little bit of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes there. Listen, a great organization, very like meaning well, you know, like trying to do well for the birds. I appreciate all of that. But, you know, as far as the photography contest goes, like and I know this is the case with all contests, but like, I don't know why. It just feels different with the Audubon one in how they use all the photos that are submitted. You know what I mean? Like they put them on all their calendars and stuff like that. And like, here's the deal. You ready? Like all the other high level contests, I feel like, yes, you are signing a release when you submit that they can use it in their promotional materials. But I always assumed that was promotional materials related to the contest. But then Audubon goes and uses any of those photos for all kinds of other stuff related to their organization. Again, it's all for a good cause, but for many years, I was being paid by Audubon per image to have photos that they were using in these same pieces, right? So they had like a bird a day calendar, they had another big calendar, like a whole bunch of different things that they sell to raise money. And I'm one of the photographers, I'm sure many photographers that are getting paid to have their images used in there. Yet they're now just taking all their photos that are entered in this contest and using them for free. So they're using them in another sort of use case that they deem worthy of paying some photographers for, but but not others, right? If you enter the contest, you're now just giving your photos away. And listen, if you're aware of that and that's clearly stated, which I'm sure it is somewhere, but it's I don't know that anybody kind of connects those dots as well of like, listen, when I enter bird photographer of the year, and even if they didn't award me, if they used my photos to advertise the contest, I'm all for it, right? But if I saw them like randomly like selling other stuff using my photos, I'd be like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, not that I want to cut all the time, but like, I wish I would have known up front that you were going to do that. Yeah. Because listen, if I know up front that Audubon's going to use it for a bunch of other stuff, then that's cool. Like, and I as a photographer go, you know what? I like that organization. If that's going to help raise money, then that's cool, right? But my guess is most people aren't aware that that's how the photos are being used. It's not just in conjunction with the contest. And then the other frustrating part I've seen, again, I haven't been involved in that contest as far as entering for years, but the other thing I've seen is they'll use photos that never even placed in a category as promotional stuff for the contest. And it's like, well, it's good enough to promote your contest, but didn't even place. Yeah. Like, there's just such a disconnect with that specific contest. And I think it's very much like what you said with the, what was it, Canadian Geographic one? And
they
then
did
all of
the
a
same
sudden
thing.
you see a switch,
they use
right?
it for calendars, everything.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, it's just real interesting. And there's great photos in the Audubon contest. There really, truly are. There's photos in there that inspire. There's photos that just make your jaw drop and wonder how it was done. But then it all falls apart when you have the complete opposite in the same contest.
Yeah.
And so what's going on there? Like, because these other contests, I don't see that. Like everything we're scrolling through here is incredible. Even like, look at that's amazing. Looks like he's ready to get scooped up. Like just incredible stuff, right? And then we go over to Ocean Photographer of the Year, and because we're running out of time, I'm just going to plug my a good friend of ours, Matt Sullivan, for getting the portfolio award winner, right?
Well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely well deserved. Like, his photography is just incredible. Like, look at this stuff. Like everything here, absolutely amazing, and like that's what you want when you scroll through a contest award winners.
Yeah, you look at it and you're like, there's thought put into it. There's lighting, there's everything, composition, like everything you'd want is placed there. Yeah, I was so stoked that he got that.
Absolutely, Yep. And they do great. Ocean Photographer, I think, is like one of the best for like showing a little bit about what went into the photo. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're the ones that put out the book that actually says a little bit of what the judges were thinking with some of the stuff they chose. So like,
Audubon does that as well, though, I think.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
All right. I wasn't aware of that.
They've got like a little section there.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I appreciate
about
that.
Their thoughts.
That's nice to hear. I'll have to read that. Maybe we can get some insight there, Yeah. Anyway, it's a long episode. Should we move on? Sorry. Sure. And listen, everybody, I guess just to my last words on the contest thing, everybody watching, it's just our opinion. We're allowed to not like photos. We're allowed to like others. If you have any insight onto like if any of those photos Brad and I said we don't connect with, if you want to share in the comments something that you do connect with, I'm all open ears. I'd love to hear other people's opinions on stuff, because that is a great way to learn. To get some others' perspectives and be like, oh, you know what, that never crossed my mind, and now maybe I can understand it more. So please feel free to share some of that in there as well. I definitely don't want the comments to be a place to like trash photos, and I hope we weren't coming across as trying to trash anything. We aren't. Because I still respect, even when I don't respect the photo, or not respect, even when I don't appreciate the photo, I still respect the photographer putting in the time, the effort, putting themselves out there and entering a contest. That's always a big task to do. And so, I do hope that everybody understands we do want to be a part of uplifting the community, and we're not trying to tear anything down, but we do just kind of scratch our heads. And I know from talking to others that we aren't the only ones, and so I think it's okay to publicly put that out there and share these thoughts and opinions, and hopefully get it received nicely. So anything else you want to add before we move on, Brad?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the big goals in this was I think more if for some crazy reason this does get to like the directors or people that run the contest within those organizations, just to kind of sit back and think about the message you potentially are sending by awarding certain images, even from a conservation perspective or from a quality of photographer. Like, I guess for me, it's just always to keep in the back of your mind, like, we as a wildlife photography community are submitting these images because we want to be labeled the best of the best. Yeah. Right? Plain and simple. Like, this is the thing. We want to be awarded the best of the best.
Yeah.
And if there are images that don't live up to that standard, and maybe it's up to those people to reach out and be like, well, what's the standard if you don't know? Like, what do you as a community hold as the best of the best? Like, what should be in an image? And then use that as your criteria to go forward. So for me, I think it's just for them to reflect on some of what's being showcased or awarded, because I think sometimes it sends a mixed signal or a wrong message.
Agreed. Great ending there. All right, on to Wildlife Photo Chat Challenge. Look, our little contest. How fun. So funny. The last episode, we asked you guys to submit photos with the best bokeh. We got some great submissions. If you're interested in submitting again for coming up, it's Instagram only. Just use the hashtag Wildlife Photo Chat Challenge that you see right over here. And Brad, you chose this beautiful shot.
I had to. The bokeh is just incredible in this. So Chin Nguyen, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, but just this. Yeah, I'm a sucker for these types of shots. The gorgeous bokeh in the foreground, background, just everything about this image is just right up my alley. And just to have the grebe's head like right in the bokeh ball as well, just fantastic. Absolutely love the shot.
Well, and I feel like it's almost a requirement to really show off these crested grebes, right? Because of those feathers. If that was just on the black background, it would totally get lost, right?
Oh, so it wouldn't stand out.
The timing and placement there and alignment, it would do well as a great bokeh shot just with the background bokeh. But then on top of it, it also has like that foreground bit that's like kicking in up here. Like, it just lays out so well.
So well.
Yeah. Stunning light, stunning moment. Definitely dig that.
Yeah.
Great
Fantastic.
Great choice. Yeah. Great shot from that photographer. I went with this one.
I love it.
Yeah, this one was not so much about the bokeh ball thing, but more of just like the textures and the feeling and the light there. So from Bob Shuttershots, nice easy name, thanks. Baby tern, looks like a common tern, I would guess. And nailed it. Love the bokeh, and I like that they said, I should have removed the stick. What'd they say? Maybe it does not bother someone out there. But it's not a big deal. Yeah, it blends away enough, I think, that it's not too big a deal there. But gosh, those textures and the light is stunning.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah, it's all about the textures in that one. Fantastic. Really, really nice. And just, you get to see that little bit of a glimpse of the environment in the background through that bokeh. So it's really, really nice.
Absolutely.
Great stuff.
All right, and for the upcoming episode, for another Wildlife Photo Chat Challenge, we're going Best Diving Gannet. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to go, Brad came up with the idea, Best Bird Behavior. So kind of in line with these contests, right? Like, behavior is always like one of the more challenging things to get. Definitely makes photos more unique and stands out. So hashtag Wildlife Photo Chat Challenge. Let's see your best bird behavior. Should we keep it to bird or any wildlife behavior? What do you want to do?
Let's go any wildlife.
Yeah.
Let's just see everything.
Yeah. Let's just see anything. But like behavior, that's what we're looking to see. All right.
Definitely. Yeah. Behavior for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, I don't think we need to extend this show anymore. We should probably wrap it up. This is 142. Sure. That's probably one of our longest.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So the new casual format isn't always going to be this long. We knew it was going to be a long one with the contest thing. But hopefully everybody enjoyed our new format. Let us know. Comment away. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care, everyone.